Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. The hospital has always been a place of secrets, alliances, betrayals, and shocking confrontations. But what's brewing now between Drew and Nathan could turn into one of the fiercest rivalries we've seen in a long time. At first, their conflict might have seemed like a subtle disagreement, maybe even just a clash of personalities, but the tension has been building under the surface for weeks, and now it looks like sparks are about to ignite into a full-scale eruption. Drew has always been a character with a complicated past, trying to balance his sense of loyalty with his desire to forge a new path, while Nathan has been someone who positions himself as reliable, dependable, and deeply protective of the people he loves. When those two personalities collide, you get more than just disagreements, you get a storm that threatens to pull everyone around them into the middle of the chaos. What makes this rivalry particularly intriguing is that it's not just about ego, it's about deeper connections, emotional wounds, and the people they're both trying to protect. Drew feels like he's been pushed to the sidelines too many times, and Nathan, whether intentionally or not, has a way of stepping into the center and becoming the figure others look to for guidance. This dynamic sets up the perfect conditions for resentment. Drew sees Nathan as someone who undermines his authority or disrespects the sacrifices he's made. Nathan, on the other hand, views Drew as impulsive and sometimes reckless, someone who doesn't always consider the long-term consequences of his choices. Put those perspectives together, and you get constant friction. But the real fuel behind their escalating conflict is family. Nina and Willow are right at the heart of this storm, because both Drew and Nathan, in their own ways, have become protectors for the people Nina and Willow care about most. Nina has long struggled with her role as both a mother and a fighter for the people she loves, and Willow, after enduring so much loss and pain, is determined to defend the family she has built. When outsiders, rivals, or even supposed allies like Drew and Nathan step into that delicate balance, Nina and Willow's instincts to shield their family rise to the surface. That's where the story becomes more than just about two men locking horns. It becomes a broader battle about who gets to define loyalty, who gets to decide what family really means, and who has the right to take charge when everything is at stake. Drew, for his part, has been carrying unresolved bitterness. He believes he's earned the right to have his voice respected, to have his sacrifices recognized, yet time and again, he feels like his words are dismissed or his role is minimized. With Nathan in the picture, those insecurities multiply. Every time Nathan offers advice, every time Nathan takes on responsibility, Drew interprets it as a challenge, as if Nathan is deliberately undermining him. Whether that's true or not almost doesn't matter, because perception becomes reality. In Drew's eyes, Nathan represents an obstacle to the respect he's been fighting for. That's why their exchanges grow sharper, their tones more hostile, and their patience thinner by the day. Nathan, however, isn't one to back down. He's the kind of man who sees confrontation as necessary when it comes to protecting people he loves. He may not go looking for fights, but when they come to him, he's ready. With Drew pushing his buttons, Nathan begins to stand his ground more firmly, and in doing so, he creates even more tension. For Nathan, it's not about ego, it's about principle. He believes that if Drew's decisions could endanger those around him, then someone has to step in and challenge him. From Nathan's perspective, he's acting out of responsibility. From Drew's perspective, it's betrayal. Now add Nina and Willow into this mix, and the drama reaches a boiling point. Nina has always been fiercely protective, sometimes to the point of making questionable choices, but everything she does is rooted in a deep love for her family. When she sees Drew and Nathan's conflict spiraling, she recognizes the threat it poses to the fragile stability she's been trying to build. She cannot and will not let anyone destabilize her relationship with Willow or jeopardize the safety of those she holds dear. So Nina begins to insert herself more forcefully, calling out Drew for letting his bitterness cloud his judgment and warning Nathan that even though his intentions may be good, his methods could still tear the family apart. Nina is not one to stand silently by. She's willing to strike back against anyone who puts her family at risk. Willow, too, finds herself at a crossroads. She has survived so much, and the last thing she needs is two men waging a personal war over power and influence while her family hangs in the balance. Willow's strength lies in her calm determination and her resilience, but even she has limits. She's tired of watching people she loves become pawns in endless conflicts. Willow knows she has to step into the role of protector, just like Nina, but her approach is different. Where Nina might be fiery and confrontational, Willow is steady and firm. She appeals to reason, demanding accountability, and she doesn't hesitate to remind both Drew and Nathan that their rivalry is not just about them, it's about everyone connected to them. This dual protection, one side fiery and the other steady, becomes the force that pushes back against Drew and Nathan's spiral. Nina and Willow aren't going to let themselves be sidelined in this fight. They make it clear that they are not damsels needing rescuing, they are women who know how to protect what's theirs, and if Drew and Nathan cannot figure out how to resolve their differences, then they'll have to deal with the consequences of standing against Nina and Willow's united front. That's where things get truly interesting, because Drew and Nathan both respect these women, but they also both want to assert themselves. When protectors clash with protectors, the fallout can reshape relationships forever. What makes this storyline compelling is the unpredictability of where the lines will ultimately be drawn. Will Drew realize that his anger at Nathan is really about his own insecurities? Will Nathan recognize that his protective instincts, though noble, can sometimes come across as controlling? Will Nina's fiery strikes keep everyone in check, or will her intensity push Drew further into resentment? And will Willow's calm, rational defense be enough to remind them all what really matters? These are the questions viewers are eager to see unfold, because they cut to the heart of what the show has always been about: family, loyalty, love, and the cost of betrayal. The hospital itself becomes a battlefield of words, glances, and confrontations that leave everyone uneasy. Side conversations in hallways, overheard arguments in waiting rooms, and whispered warnings behind closed doors all contribute to the growing sense that a major explosion is coming. Other characters begin to take sides, some aligning with Drew, others siding with Nathan, and suddenly the tension spreads far beyond just the four central figures. Alliances are questioned, friendships are tested, and even romantic relationships feel the strain of choosing who to trust. That ripple effect shows just how powerful this conflict has become, because it's not just a private rivalry anymore, it's a community-wide crisis. And yet, at the core of all this turmoil, the theme of protection shines